David grew up in a poor family. His parents worked hard every single day just to pay the bills and put food on the table. They had no extra money for luxuries. But they always told him, if you want something, you must learn to stand on your own feet. You must learn to fight for it. David listened. He never asked for toys. He never asked for sweets. But deep inside, he had one big dream. He wanted to run. He wanted to be the fastest runner in his school. One morning during PE class, he tried to keep up with the other kids. But halfway through the sprint, his old shoes broke apart. The kids laughed. His heart ached more than his feet. That night, he looked at the torn shoes and whispered, "Dream first, shoes next." He didn't ask his parents for new ones. He knew they couldn't afford them. Instead, he made a promise to himself. I save it. I earn it. I run with it. The next day, he found an empty glass jar and called it the champion jar. Every coin he could find, every little tip he earned, went inside, and every time he dropped a coin, he said aloud, "Save like a champion, run like a champion." But saving coins alone was not enough. David knew he needed to earn more. After school, while other kids played video games, David ran small errands in the neighborhood. He carried groceries for the old lady on the corner. He washed cars on weekends. He delivered newspapers before sunrise. Every coin went into the jar. Every step reminded him, step by step, strong will, fast feet. It wasn't easy. Some nights, his body ached from training and working. Some mornings, his stomach growled because he skipped snacks to save money. There were moments when doubt whispered, "Why not just give up? Why not ask your parents?" But David shook his head. He remembered his promise. He remembered the laughter of the other kids when his shoes tore. And he whispered again, "I save it. I earn it. I run with it." Weeks turned into months. The champion jar grew heavier. The sound of clinking coins became music to David's ears. It was not just money, it was proof of his willpower. Proof of his dream. Proof of his fight. Finally, the day came. He counted the money again and again. Enough. Enough for the shoes he had dreamed of. The shopkeeper placed the box on the counter. When David opened it, the new shoes almost shone under the store lights. His hands shook as he touched them. He whispered softly, "Dream first, shoes next, and now." The dream continues. With the new shoes, training felt different. Every stride was faster, every step lighter. But more than the shoes, it was the fire inside him that made the difference. He trained on the dusty road, under the hot sun in the cold wind, and every time his legs burned, he repeated his mantra, step by step, strong will, fast feet. Race day finally arrived. The field was crowded. The other runners looked strong, confident. David's heart pounded, but he tightened his laces and remembered his journey, the broken shoes, the long mornings, the champion jar, the promise he made to himself. The whistle blew. David ran, faster, stronger, freer than ever before. He heard the cheers. He felt the ground shake. But all he focused on was the rhythm of his breath, the pounding of his heart, the echo of his own voice inside. Save like a champion, run like a champion. Step by step, he passed one runner, then another. The finish line came closer. His lungs burned, his legs screamed, but his will was louder. With one last burst, he crossed the line, first. The crowd roared. David gasped for air. tears mixing with sweat. He had done it, not just won the race, but proved something greater. Dreams are built, not given. Shoes were only the beginning. Determination was the real victory. That night, he placed the medal next to the empty champion jar. He smiled and whispered one last time, "I save it, I earn it, I run with it." David's story did not end the day he bought his running shoes. In fact, it was only the beginning. The school announced a big race, the annual championship. Every runner wanted the medal. Every runner wanted to be called the fastest in school. For David, this was not just a race. It was proof that his sacrifices, his long mornings, his heavy jar of coins, all meant something. On the training field, he noticed his biggest rival, Mark. Mark was strong, tall, and fast. His parents bought him the best gear, light shoes, a stopwatch, even a personal coach. When Mark saw David's worn-out training clothes, he smirked. "Do you really think saving coins can make you faster?" David didn't reply. He simply tied his shoes tighter and whispered, "Step by step, strong will, fast feet." Training became harder than ever. David woke up at 5 a.m. He ran before the sun rose. When the streets were empty and the world was quiet, he felt the cold air cut his lungs. But he kept repeating, "Save like a champion, run like a champion." After school, while others rested, he worked small jobs, carrying boxes, cleaning tables, delivering papers, just to help his family and prove to himself that he was worthy. Then, with tired muscles, he still trained, running laps, sprinting hills, falling, getting up, and running again. Some nights, he collapsed on his bed, too exhausted to eat, but before closing his eyes, he whispered his promise, "I save it, I earn it, I run with it." One evening, as he trained on the school track, rain began to fall, heavy, cold rain. Most runners left, but David stayed. His clothes were soaked, his shoes splashed mud, his legs slipped, yet he forced himself to keep moving, shouting into the storm, "Dream first, shoes next, dream first, shoes next." The coach, who had been quietly watching, approached him later. "You have no coach, no equipment, but you have something the others don't, heart. Don't lose it." Those words became fuel. Finally, race day arrived. The schoolyard was filled with noise, students cheering, teachers watching. Mark stood at the starting line with confidence, stretching like a true athlete. David stood beside him, calm but burning inside. He touched his shoes, the shoes he had earned with sweat and sacrifice, and whispered, "Step by step, strong will, fast feet." The whistle blew. The runners exploded forward. Mark took the lead quickly. His steps were powerful, his pace steady. David stayed behind, remembering his training. He breathed deeply, saving his energy. The crowd shouted Mark's name, but David focused only on his rhythm. Save like a champion, run like a champion. Lap after lap, David's body screamed in pain. His chest burned, his legs begged him to stop. He almost stumbled, but then, in his mind, he saw the old jar. He heard the clinking of coins. He remembered the nights of hunger, the mornings of hard work, the broken shoes. He remembered his promise, and he shouted inside, "I save it, I earn it, I run with it." With a burst of speed, he began to close the gap. One by one, he passed the other runners. Mark noticed and pushed harder. The two of them were neck and neck. The finish line just ahead. The crowd roared. David's vision blurred. His lungs burned. But in that final moment, he whispered the words that carried him through every hardship. Step by step, strong will, fast feet, and with one last surge, he crossed the line. First silence, then thunderous cheers. David collapsed to the ground, gasping, his body trembling, but inside, he felt lighter than ever. He had won, not just the race, but his own battle, the battle against doubt, poverty, and weakness. That evening, with the medal around his neck, he placed it next to the empty jar on his desk. He smiled and whispered, "Dream first, shoes next, save like a champion, run like a champion," because he knew this was only the beginning.